Well, two things are happening. First, Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel has actually tweeted a thank you to President-elect Trump, and he said in the tweet, President-elect Trump, thank you for your warm friendship and your clear-cut support for Israel. In response to David, you know, he brings up issues, you know, the history of what's gone on since the Zionist movement of the late 1800s to the UN resolution that created the State of Israel. We get it, and I'm talking to you, David, as a Jew who absolutely supports Israel. But how do the settlements, I'm not talking Jerusalem and East Jerusalem, which has historically had a Jewish neighborhood for centuries, but how do the Israelis gain anything by continuing to expand settlements in what some people call the West Bank, what you call Judea and Samaria, which is the ancient biblical land? What does Israel gain by continuing to do that?
Well, for one thing, we have justice on our side, and I think it's important to state that. You cannot learn about Israel and try to understand the situation today in Israel without understanding the history. I live in a place called Shiloh, or in Hebrew we call it Shiloh. This is where the capital of Israel stood for 369 years, okay, longer than the existence of the United States of America. 369 years, the capital of Israel was Shiloh, which is in the heart of Samaria. Now, that was before Jerusalem was even the capital. So we're talking about justice being on our side. We're talking about a nation that was sovereign here for over 1,000 years, and Samaria and Judea were historically they were a central part of Israel during that time period of some 1,000 years. So you can't ignore that.
No, you can't ignore that. But then what I hear you saying, and when I hear my fellow Jews talking about Judea, Samaria, what I hear is not a two-state solution, a one-state solution, it being Israel. And when I hear people in the United States who are part of the BDS movement, they talk about a one-state solution called Palestine. I don't see how this moves forward in any way.
Well, look, we're talking about a country which, including Judea and Samaria, is about the size of New Jersey. So I don't think that it's realistic. On that I agree. On that I agree with Israel's enemies. That it is not realistic to take a country that's the size of New Jersey and carve out the center of the country, place in that center of the country an independent Islamic terrorist state, and say that there's going to be peace. It just doesn't work. The land for peace formula has never worked. It didn't work in Gaza, and there's no way that it can work in Judea and Samaria.